Hello, I'm Anthony. This is track 5 of The River, the album that I'm writing at the moment. So this song's called Springtime. I've done a little bit of work on the song itself. We'll jump across projects shortly to have a look at that. But I just want to play you the transition. So this is the kind of the composite album that I'm building up as I finish each one of these songs. I drop the WAV into this thing and I can do any crossfades or processing that's required. So let's have a listen to Undertow into Springtime. Both of the songs are in the same key, so it was just really, really easy to merge the two together. They're both in C major. So let's have a listen to this. So if I mute Springtime, you'll hear that there's an elongated bass line, bass note at the end of Undertow. I sustain it out, which was deliberately there purely for this crossfade. In the kind of the single version, you know, the standalone version of the song, I actually truncated that bass line. It sounds a little bit unnatural actually because the note itself didn't terminate. This is what the sound actually sounds like. I just held that bass note for as long as it would sustain, basically. And that just gives that little bit of anchor so that when the two songs crossfade together, it's just got something, there's that tone there as the synth sweep from Springtime kicks in. Anyway, all that said, let's jump across to Springtime itself and have a look at the song. As you can see, a really sparse arrangement, very gentle congas and bongos ticking away in the background, but the underpin of the entire song is this Jupiter 8 line. It was recorded live. I was basically just playing around with a preset on the Arturia Jupiter 8. I've converted it into an audio file at this point, so I've not got the original synth sound. Let's just have a quick look at the track because it is just a magnificent instrument. So here's the preset itself, and I need to turn it down because it's way too loud. But it's kind of cheating. All you have to do is press C and it just immediately sounds interesting. But basically, I just kind of wandered around on the keyboard playing different notes, holding the arpeggiated stuff down, and just, as you can see, the arpeggiator in the Jupiter shows you all of the versions of the notes that are being played, but I'm just pressing single notes here. So C, G, F, E, D, C, and it's just so easy to make beautiful music. So for a couple of minutes, about 2.5 minutes, I was basically just wandering away, and happily I managed to press record, which I never do, and I never remember to do retrospective recording either, so I happened to catch this thing and I thought, okay, that's it, that's an entire song there. I'm going to build everything around it. So from the very beginning, that was completely sacrosanct, that instrument sound. The 2.5 minute performance was completely locked in, and then I had to wrap a song around it, which was really difficult because there was no structure to what I was playing at all. There were kind of odd numbered, weird numbers of bars for each of the various different chords that I was playing, so it was actually quite tricky to wrap a song around it. So that was stage 1. Then I added a Juno 106. I thought if I'm going for the classic analog sound, you know, let's do a Juno, so I added one of those as well. The noise floor dramatically rises when this thing is instantiated. This is one of the Roland Cloud instruments, and oh my goodness me. Just completely awesome vintage kind of analog sound. So the combination of those two things together, let's get them back out of the loop because they'll be absolutely hammering my CPU. Bear with me. And as you can see, I've converted those two tracks into audio, so I can now play them without running my CPU at 90%, which all of these Roland Cloud instruments just take all of your computer. However big your computer is, I'll have it all, thank you very much. But they are great sounding. And so if I solo just the keys, we get... them in. I didn't want anything to get in the way of the keys. That synthesizer sound should be front and center. But then once I'd written the lyrics for it and got Pauline to sing, the thing was just completely transformed. She did the most amazing performance. In fact, this is the first of the 5 songs that I've kind of imported into the album, as they were finished products and they're now kind of in a bigger whole. I've not re-recorded these vocals, they're simply too good. So I've just brought in the main vocals and all of the harmonies, and that sounds like this.
Then as the light runs like a river of stolen goodbyes, guiding us all with its soft golden smile, down to the
and the rest of it is just adornment to bring the bass and the guitar, a very simple guitar line in. Let's get rid of all the solo stuff. And that's the whole song.
so with a sigh, and an unfurling and falling design, whether we wonder if ever we'll falter.
What a voice. So really love this song from the moment, that initial kind of spontaneous thing, and then to have that moment of clarity to think that's good enough, don't mess with it, don't touch it, leave it alone, make everything else warp around it, don't you dare change any of the settings in that synthesizer. So that's what happened, it survived all the way through. In terms of the remix this time round, I have clarified, cleaned up the sound quite a lot. I've got my standard suite of, or what's becoming my standard suite of master track presets now, and I'm quite deliberately not messing with them because I'm trying to use that as the glue to bind all of these things together. This Neve 1073 just really brightens the vocals up. They were sounding a little bit kind of dull in the mix. Let's hear some of that.
Then as the light
So it sounds kind of like
runs like a river
there's a blanket on
of
it.
stolen goodbyes, guiding us all with its soft golden smile.
Just pushes those high frequencies and takes some of that mud away. You can see it's cutting away, what's that, 360? Just taking away some of that unnecessary stuff and accentuating a little bit of the uppers really helps. That was the biggest kind of individual effect, and it's amazing. One change like that just completely transforms the entire thing. So let's get that in the context of the song. Mute it to start with.
Then as the light runs like a river of stolen goodbyes, guiding us all with its soft golden smile.
Yep, really happy with that. You can look at the length of the decay on those delays and reverbs. I wanted this thing to be an absolute wash of sound. I did a second guitar line. It's literally just a duplication through a different preset. Oops. So to add a little bit of saturation, let's hear that. So this is both of them together. You can see panned reasonably hard. That saturation just helps it cut through the mix. It sounds a little bit kind of dirty on its own. Take the second copy away, centralize it. Sounds nicer on its own, just the single version, but in the context of the song, it's better with that extra little bit of grit. But all in all, a really easy piece of music to put together. There was not very much wrong with it in the first place, just a little bit muddy. A couple of the higher frequencies on a couple of the instruments just needed to be pushed a little bit. But other than that, I've once again had another talk to myself recently about not getting carried away with these remixes, not spending hour upon hour. So I'm loading them up while they're still fairly fresh in my mind, hearing the things that need fixing the most, fixing them as quickly as I possibly can, and getting to the stage as quickly as I can where I'm saying, okay, that sounds better than it did. I'm really happy with it. Let's drop it in. Once I put all of these songs together, there'll be yet another review where I'll go through all of this stuff with a more kind of fine-tooth comb to try to identify any remaining problems, but I think it sounds good. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit the like button. I'll see you next time. Thanks very much.